but we got the man with us. He's going to be going. Look at him. He just makes me smile. He is the one, the only Pat Croce. Good morning, Captain.
How you doing, Bones? Good to see you.
You look great, man. And so you just look fantastic.
Thank you. Great to be with you. Like old times. 30 years ago.
Can you believe that? Show them the tattoo that we got. SPQR.
Oh, no, mine was you got that one.
Yeah. You got the one?
Here's a new one.
Oh man. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. JP, oh my God. That's phenomenal.
That is awesome.
Captain.
Well, my birthday, Bones, is on November 2nd, Day of the Dead, so I needed my own sugar skull. And it's smoking a cigar with the band that says 70.
Oh my God. That's outrageous. Look at it.
AI should like it today.
Oh, AI's going to love it. And so you're going to the Allen Iverson statue unveiling. And just when you think about the essence of time and you think back to that part of your life as the owner and steward of that franchise and what he meant, what comes back first? What are some of the memories that come back to you?
Bones, it was only 5 years when I was in that role. You remember me for a dozen years as the physical therapist for the team. However, those 5 years seemed like an eternity because it was full-time all the time, especially with Bubba Chuck, especially with AI. And I got to say that, and I am a high-energy individual. Even at peace, I'm a high-energy individual.
Yes.
However, he tended to detonate me so that the energy was off the charts. He made me celebrate and everyone around me celebrate. He reminds me of pure lightning bolt of celebration. Look at all the times we stood up and cheered, even if we would have lost. Even the first year in '96, when we lost, we only won 22 games out of that 82-game schedule. However, how much excitement and energy and enthusiasm and hope he brought to all the fandom. I mean, every time we jumped up every time he did something crazy.
It was what a show, right? Like you were always about. No one had an eye to create a show, like as a promoter, like your vision, and he was perfect for you because the show is bigger than life.
Way bigger. And back in the day, so we took over a team that had only won 18 games and they were in last place and no one was coming to the games. I think 3,000 ticket holders. However, I knew I could control the show on the court, meaning the dance team, the halftime entertainment, whether it was Patti LaBelle or Boys to Men, the national anthem singer, all the giveaways. However, it meant nothing without the wins. It's all about wins and losses. Unlike most businesses where it's profit and loss, professional sports is wins and losses. And when Bubba Chuck came on, when we won him with that first pick in '96, when I won the lottery and got him, then all of a sudden the show morphed from just this entertainment to basketball. And we knew that if these players sprinkled gasoline and kerosene over the entire Delaware Valley, Philadelphia, South Jersey, Delaware, with giving of their time, community investment of time, sharing it, whether it's Children's Hospital or McGee Rehab Hospital or any of their own personal community initiatives, that one day the show and the basketball would become the show. Maybe not the LA show, but it would definitely be a Philadelphia kind of show.
And it turned out that way. I mean, one of the most amazing runs that we still reference, one of the great teams. And I feel blessed to have kind of, shared it with you and taken those trips to Milwaukee and Indiana and doing our shots of Sambuca and what. And watching, and there's you on the bridge with Ace, and like this, it was just such a wonderful time. I still have my Sixers tattoo that I got. Like it was just the best.
Now, while you keep that logo in perpetuity, see, that was a cool logo. And people don't realize that AI, Bubba Chuck, had influence in that logo. If you see the way that logo moves, the energy in that ball swishing under the 76ers, that's Bubba himself.
Oh,
And
that's
that's what
deep.
the documentary is about. This new documentary, I think it's whether it's Seth Curry or LeBron James's company, production company, they're in town yesterday, today, and tomorrow to film a variety of people, including his family and some of us that were with the team back in that 96 to 2001 run. And it's really about not only his basketball prowess, but he was a, a brand changer, a
Yeah.
revolutionary brand changer. I mean, look what he did. I mean, Michael Jordan, yes, with the bald head and the long shorts, but then Bubba, I mean, David Stern wasn't happy with everything he did, but it flowed onto the court and into the community, all communities across the world.
Yeah. You remember the All-Star? It was the All-Star game with Jordan and Allen. And, it's funny because he was at the sea change. He was part of that sea change in society that you reference. Like Mike, they all wore suits to the games. You remember that whole story. And then Allen was never going to wear a suit. There was never all that stuff. He wanted to be, he had his, friends with him. It was like that was going to be his thing. And you saw the changing of the guard during that period of time.
Bubba, listen, Bonesy, about Bubba, here's a story most people don't even know. He gets the Rookie of the Year. Remember that 96, 97 season? He gets the Rookie of the Year. We take pictures of him with the NBA brings down photographers. We take pictures of him. Remember, he had a white, like a skull cap. It looked like a bathing cap on.
Yes.
With a Reebok on the back. Well, they weren't using any of the photos because they said it was jailhouse messages. And I called David. I had to call David and say, David, what are you talking about? This has nothing to do with prison rock. It's got Reebok on the back of it just because it's different. I mean, this is who he was. So you got to allow him to. I mean, then eventually the pictures were released, but not at the time we shared when he was exposed to getting that trophy. They hid it. He never saw any of it.
Wow, that's wild. That's so interesting. And I remember it's tattoos, right? That was the other thing because he was first really in the NBA to have sleeves, like stuff that became, popular in pop culture, and now everybody's got ink and the whole thing. You were right there with them. And like that was another piece because people would complain about that. Oh, it's so different. Why does he have tattoos? That's jailhouse stuff.
I mean, from the cornrows to the tattoos to not wearing the suit. So what?
Right.
So what? No, and that's really where he had an influence on our culture. And I don't see it as a negative influence. I see it as change, accept change. People resist change, so they suffer. You're suffering. You choose to suffer. If he chooses to be himself, and this is a comfortable way, so be it. Michael liked his suits, like Pat Riley liked his suits.
Yes.
Allen liked his Timberlands and his pants that fell down to his knees. That's so what?
Yes.
Listen, you want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
He gets arrested, maybe 96, 97. Sometime I know I have to go. I don't know if it was summertime, but there was pot in the car, whatever it was, and there was court. So I go down to Hampton Roads or Hampton, whatever that's called.
In Virginia, yeah.
And he's in a suit and he appears. I'm in a car following the limo after the court, after the session with the judge. And we're leaving. We go down this street and the limo pulls over. The suit goes out the window and then the car just keeps going.
Oh my God, that's fabulous.
I should have picked. If I still had it, I could sell for a fortune on it.
Yeah, right. It was for you back then too. You also had to referee Larry Brown, right? Because Larry and Allen were almost opposite sides of the coin. That they were very similar in an odd way. You had that to deal with. You never knew what the night before was going to bring. I mean, every morning, and you're up at the crack of dawn, and you're putting out fires and you're spinning plates everywhere.
That's what people don't realize, Bones, that they were very similar. They had a love for basketball. One was bebop, the other one was hip hop. One was black top, the other one was court top. I mean, they were different eras, different cultures. However, if you got down to the essence of these two separate selves, they were one self, one true maestro of basketball, one in coaching, one in playing. And they did it differently. Each of them, like Larry Brown's known as a really brilliant coach, Allen Iverson's known as a brilliant player. Why is that? Because their skill sets were allowed to blossom. Although Allen had to fight the coach to allow himself to be himself. Now, people think he was selfish. Bubba Chuck was not selfish, not at all. If you look at it, he would pass the ball. However, if you missed a shot, you might get another ball past you. If you miss another shot, screw that. He knows he can make it. So
Right.
he wanted to win. The bottom line, as I said earlier in this conversation, is winning. It's about winning. And until he got the talent around him, the Aaron McKees and the George Lynches and the Dikembe Mutombos and the Aaron McKees, where those stars circulated around the sun, Bubba Chuck, and everyone knew their position and everyone shared equally. I mean, that's really where you saw it blossom. That we didn't deserve to be in the finals against the Lakers when you think of talent, player by player. We had Allen. That's it. They had Shaq and Kobe. I mean, that's
Exactly.
That's three compared to one. Like, whoa.
I want to get into you a little bit because you provide this incredible light. You very inspirational. I always say this about you, that your words and your spirit's like a tonic. So if people are down, if people are upset, look at what you did when you had cancer, and how you would talk to people, all the time. You had gatherings to kind of talk through stuff, and that tonic and that it's just helping people. I got to tell you, I mean, that part about it is just so, I think, enlightening and refreshing to provide that sort of thing to people. What is it, this journey that and it's a big question, but that you've kind of learned throughout your journey now?
It's been the past 10 years, Bones, where I did go on this spiritual journey, and I went around the world to find out from the best, whether it was Tibet, Kathmandu, wherever, Nepal, Thailand, Bhutan, up into the mountains, to find out exactly when people realize that this body mind, this expression, this unique expression that we are, it's really what we have. Who we are is the essence, the universal essence of love. We're really all love. When you think about it, love, peace, and happiness are all the same word. And we all know that. That's where whether it's the Sixers or a great movie or a good book or a chocolate ice cream cone, it brings happiness. And at that moment when you're enjoying it, it's not me enjoying that. It's just enjoyment. That's what love is. That's what happiness is. And when we realize it, it's coming from the inside. But most people are searching for it from the outside, whether it's an object, an acquisition, an achievement, a relationship, a substance, a state of mind. And eventually it wears off. However, when you learn to suffer a little and stop and say, whoa, I might be going in the wrong direction. And that's what happens when grace tickles us and says, stop, cut the movie of me, turn around and look inside. Just be still for, I call it a 6-second sacred pause. Just rest for 6 seconds, follow your breath, and see what that frickin' voice in the head is saying. Because I didn't know there was a voice in the head, Bones, 10 years ago. And once I recognized it, and I recognized that wasn't me, that changed my entire world. Because what happens is when you change how you see how you change. And the world all of a sudden becomes celebratory, becomes a form of communication, expression. And this show of yours, this is an expression of love and happiness coming from you. It's not something you need or want. And that's really the change. And, sports does that for us. We
Yes.
lose ourselves when we're involved in a sport. However, we become our separate egoic self when we get all pissed off at the end of it if we lose.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden we take on the identity of the team. That's my team. That's my loss. However, during the competition, during the show, there's no duality. There's no me and them. It's all you're just yes, yeah, boom, celebrate. It's just a fabulous. So sports is a great metaphor for the spiritual path. If we see enjoyment, see ourself as that bundle of love. And that's really when you talk about cancer, that was my body was diagnosed with cancer, not me. Not that you're listening to the voice of mine. That is that which is aware. Wasn't touched by cancer. My body. So they take care of it. Let's go. On a scale from 0 to 10, on the Yank scale, where 10 is a deep depression, I didn't shift off 0. Like, no. Okay, bring it on. What am I going to do? And then I took it on as a celebratory journey, an adventure. I get to meet new oncologists and radiation therapists and all these people at the American Cancer Society, and people whose body have really been savaged by, renal cancer, brain cancer, throat cancer, prostate cancer. And you see these warriors going at it and really fighting the fight. It's just a magnificent journey.
Yeah, you're so inspirational. It really are. In fact, I'm thrilled that you're going to be giving a commencement at your alma mater at the University of Pittsburgh. I mean, who better to give great advice and words to graduates, to young people going about to start their journey than you?
Oh, thank you, Bones. And it's almost 50 years since I was sitting in that seat. I graduated in 77 with Tony Dorsett.
Wow.
Dorsett now, but it was Dorsett then. And it'll be a high intensity, short duration talk. The last time I gave a commencement address was in 99, Westchester University. I love the president. She's not there, Dr. Madeline Adler anymore. But in 97, she asked me, because with the Sixers, I said, sure. It's 99. You'll remember this. It's May of 99. I'm supposed to give the talk on that Saturday. It's the first day of the playoffs with the Sixers playing in Orlando. And it was my third year. There'd been a drought for 8 years. And this is the first game. But I promised to do the address. And so walking into that stadium, if I said nothing, the cheers were off the chart. And I had a bald head. Remember, we were shaving all the heads for tickets into the playoff game?
Yeah.
You got the tattoo, we got the shaved heads. That people realize that you stick by your word. I mean, that was it. So that's the last time. Here at Pitt, and it's a wonderful thing. And it might be, and again, I'm a high intensity, short duration. They're not there to hear me. They're there to celebrate. So what I'm going to do is light the flame that will touch the wick, which will light up the dynamite, so that when they leave, they realize they have the world at their hands. And in addition, you're going to love this, Bones. They're giving me an honorary doctorate in rehabilitation sciences in the fields of physical, emotional, and spiritual health.
Wow.
Is that cool?
That's so apropos for someone like you who made your bones in rehabbing the body. And then you go to the mind, and then your final journey is through the spirit. It's so apropos, man. That's perfect.
Well said. Namaste, brother. Hey, you know what namaste means? Now, namaste is pretty cool. I mean, the Hindus and the Tibetans do it all the time. Last year when I was in Tibet, it's simple meaning. May the divine in me honor the divine in you as one. And when we look at that, that's really, we're talking about the essence of that love, who we are, that essence, not the unique entity or the expression. These are beautiful, colorful expressions. But if you get down to the being, the self in myself, that's the divine. The my, well, that's a story. That's a great story, right?
Incredible story. Last thing. And they were talking to the great Pat Croce, and Allen Iverson statue unveiled. It's a big story brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. See the credit union difference at TrueMark Financial today. Tell people about your journey that you're going to take in the fall. It's fabulous. And this is why you're the best, because you'll watch something and then all of a sudden the light will go off and you're like, I got to do it.
Now, I believe it's God, the divine tickling to me. I really, last year I went to Tibet because of something happened, and then I climbed Mount Kailash. So my 70th birthday is on the Day of the Dead, November 2nd, as we talked about. So I got this sugar skull. However, we didn't know what we were going to do. A party, a family vacation, an adventure for Diane and I. And this is early January on a Sunday. And I said, I had no idea. I said, but Di, I don't want to be surprised. I want to be involved in whatever the planning is. She said, nope, no problem, because my 60th was sick. I had 300 of my closest friends in Key West. That was off the charts. However, my 40th was a surprise. So that's this Sunday in January. That same day, it's around happy hour. I pour a couple glasses of wine for Diane and I go look for a movie. And on Netflix, I see this movie called The Way. Don't know it. I see Martin Sheen stars in it from 2010. I read the little synopsis and it talks about the Camino de Santiago. I said, Di, that's the movie that Kevin, in our sanghas on Sunday, our spiritual meetings, this one fell out of Milwaukee. He went on this last summer and talked about it. He had to stop halfway because his daughter had blisters. So I said, let's watch it, right? We watch it at the 12-minute mark. You can watch The Way at the 12-minute mark. This French police captain, the character, Martin Sheen, goes over to France to recover his son's remains because the first 2 days are a little difficult. You have to climb 5,000 feet over the Pyrenees to get into Spain, and then it's 500 miles to walk across northern Spain. His son dies in an avalanche. So he goes and retrieves him. The police captain says, on my 70th birthday, I want to walk the Camino and back. I went, Di, that's it. That's what I'm doing. That's what we're doing. She said, get out of here. I'm not. And the more she watched it, she saw him staying in hostels and bed bugs. And she goes, I'm not. I said, no. This is perfect. That's it. 70. And so but you're going to like this, Bones. So Diane, Kelly, Michael, Jeff, and Julia are going to meet me at the 29th day. I have 5 days after that. They're going to meet me and do the last 100 kilometers with me. They'll go to Madrid, and then I'll meet them, and they'll come back from Madrid. So, so we'll go. And what happens in this pilgrimage, which has been going on for all of your listeners for hundreds of years, we're talking back in the Crusades, they cross all the way northern Spain, and then they go to Santiago de Compostela, where supposedly the bones of St. James are buried. And everyone to me, it's just, I'll see how many people I can touch along the way.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Captain, you're a treasure, man. We love you, buddy. You're the greatest.
Peace, brother. Love you, Bonesy.
Peace, brother.